So, besides being the 4th of July and being the Independence Day of America, what other great thing happened this weekend that you guys can think of? Pretty monumental. Soccer. Soccer. Women's soccer. But not just, I was going through this because, you have men's soccer, you have women's soccer, you have this, you have that country. Do you know, now this is just from a layman's perspective, about 15, 18 years ago, maybe as far as 20 years ago, soccer in the United States was what? Nothing. Pretty zero. Okay? Kids were running around the field, and they were doing whatever kids do, to play soccer. I think they call it swarm ball. Okay? There's like 9 kids, and there's a ball in the middle there somewhere. Okay? Swarm ball. To go from that point, and then remember, women's sports really got equal parity, if you will, with Title IX. I think they called Title IX, right? And a lot of equality came from that, huge equality. For them to come that far and to take on the countries of the world to compete in that kind of an arena where a lot of these girls, come from generations of girls and guys playing soccer. Their fathers and their grandfathers were playing soccer in the streets, way before these girls were even in Europe and in South America. Think about what we have today. It's an amazing feat. It's a come from nowhere to go somewhere. Very much like America. Very much like the United States. And the things that we've overcome as a country. It's pretty amazing kind of stuff. And it's kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. I wrote down here, the second half of 08 has started. The second, excuse me, 08. Throwback. The second half of 2015 has started. The second half of 2015 has started. The question I wrote down here, have you started? We've already, as we talked about as we got started here, today's the 6th. The 6th. For all intent and purposes, we were off from the 1st, if not physically, mentally. Okay? It's a holiday. We're going to spend with our family, our friends, and I was encouraging all of you, work on Tuesday, work on Wednesday, work on Thursday, and do something on Friday. And by the way, those of you that did picked up a few extra leads. I got story after story after story. Now, I didn't get a lot of stories, pretty much story after story after story, of people who did work and got leads and got opportunities and got appointments and were able to do things and put transactions together. And those of you that did that have a jump on 2015 second half. Those of us that didn't, we're already 6 days into the month. Wow. 6 days into the month. So I wrote down here, the person who takes action every single day toward the attainment of their goal will always triumph over those who do it once in a while. Our job is to do our job every day, every week, every month. Every day, every week, every month. The goal that we set out for ourselves at the beginning of the year was something between 220 and 240 work days. That was what we set out at the beginning of the year. 120 days are gone. 120 of those work days are gone. Did you do what you're supposed to do for those 120 days? Bonnie Blair, speaking of another great woman, who was actually the Olympic skater. She's actually, as far as I could tell, the most decorated winter athlete ever. Okay? She said winning doesn't always mean being first. Okay? Because sometimes we think we need to be first to be the winner. She said winning means doing better than you've ever done before. So if you made 10 contacts last week and you made 11 this week, you're a winner. If you went on one appointment last week and this week you went on 2, you're a winner. Do you guys get what I'm talking about? Okay? It's beating your best every chance you can. I wrote down opportunities and motivation are connected. Opportunities and motivation are connected. Motivated people see opportunities, and opportunities are often what motivates people. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Motivated people see opportunities. People that are excited, enthusiastic, you're up, you're ready to go, good things are happening for you, you feel it, you feel that moment. They were talking about that in the article about the women taking the World Cup. The gal had visualized making 4 goals. The gal had visualized making 4 goals. She failed and hit 3. Score was 4-2. U.S. She visualized that it was going to take 4 goals to win. She was right. She made 3 of them. Pretty amazing, huh? It's what we visualize. She even talks in there for the first 30 minutes she was totally blacked out. She just did her job. She had practiced so much and been so focused and had visualized this moment in time to the degree that she was on automatic for the first 30 minutes of play. Amazing. Amazing. Opportunities and motivations are connected. Great attitudes precede great opportunities. Who you are, and I'd like to restate that, is who you think you are determines what you see. You see, if we think we're a great salesperson and we walk and dress like a great salesperson would walk and dress, if we think in those terms and we read books of those things and we pour that into our brain, what comes out is so positive, so pure. We can focus and use that to our advantages. I wrote down here to do a common thing uncommonly well brings success. Hear that again. To do a common thing uncommonly well brings success. And I wrote down here, success seems to be connected with action. Do you guys buy that? Mm-hmm. Success connected with action, yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. Take action, there seems to be success connected to it. You don't take action, what do you get? Nothing. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes. Things happen. Doesn't work right. Okay? The script doesn't come out exactly right. Okay. I'll work on it again tomorrow, but at least I was at bat. At least I was at bat. I know what I don't know. And now I can go back and correct it and get back at bat. So I wrote down steps to a great second half. Here's a few ideas to make steps to a great second half. Number 1, maintain a positive attitude. Maintain a positive attitude. Zig Ziglar says, don't get me around any stinking thinking. Okay? Great positive attitude. Keep in check with your daily affirmations. Meaning, let's just do a little thing right now, okay? Everybody stand up for a moment. Everybody stand up for a moment. Now you are where you are, emotionally, physically, and mentally, right? Yes. What I'd like you to do is take inventory of where you are and how you feel. Okay? Take a moment, think about that. Now what I'd like you to do is I want you to, not yet, when I ask you to, say you're a great salesperson 3 times. And I want you each time to escalate it slightly. Okay? Then we're going to repeat that again when I ask you to, and we're going to escalate that slightly. So let's do that with a little bit of power and a little bit of energy 3 times, raising it each time. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. Okay? Okay? So now what I want you to do is I want you to do that 3 more times, but I want you to escalate it each time more. By the time we hit the 3rd time, I want the Irvine office to hear us without the telephone. Okay? All right, so here we go. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. Okay. You are.
You need to be here.
Okay, sit down. Take note. Where are you right now? Okay, where are you right now? How do you feel right now compared to where you were 30 seconds ago? Okay, a little more what?
A little more pumped up.
A little more pumped up, a little more energy, right?
Right.
Okay, a little more enthusiasm, right? Okay, 30-second technique. 30 seconds. It's all we did. And all we said was, I'm a great salesperson, I'm a great salesperson, I'm a great salesperson. You got your body into it slightly, just slightly. You know, if you really wanted to get into this, I mean, you could do this 3, 4, 5 sets of that, and, you know, you'd go through a wall. I mean, you could just walk through that door right there. You see, when I say maintain a positive attitude, we think to ourselves, well, how do I do that? I can't do that. Well, I just gave you a technique that in 30 seconds, you can do that at any time. So think about this. What if, before you started prospecting, you did that for yourself before you picked up the phone? What if, before you went and did any door knocking, you did that little technique for yourself before you went door knocking? And what if, before you went on a listing presentation, you did that little technique for yourself? Do you think it would work positive or negative for you?
Positive.
Positive, absolutely. So maintain a positive attitude. Number 2, preview properties, because knowledge equals confidence. Preview properties. Knowledge equals confidence. See 5 houses a day, 5 days a week. Now here's the deal. How long have I been asking you to do this? Since the beginning of time, pretty much, right? Okay? So here's my request. A lot of you, most of you, are going to the Mike Ferry retreat starting Saturday. Okay? Here's what I'd like you to do. Between now and Saturday, I'd like you to do that. Every day for 5 days. Okay? I want you to use a little bit, you know, I'm a great salesperson, and then go out and preview 5 houses, and then door knock 10 houses around it. That's it. You've been fighting me on this for years. Some of you, decades. Okay? Fortunately, I've only been in the business 40 years, so there is a cap on this thing, all right? But do this. Try, I wrote down here, finally try it. Finally. Do it for a week. Here's my challenge. Do it for a week and come back and tell me, look me right in the eye and say, Neil, this doesn't work. That's it, and you don't ever have to do it again. But do it one time. Because if you go see 5 houses a day, 5 days a week, and you door knock 10 houses around each one of them, you cannot come back to me and say to me, this doesn't work. It's impossible. The only thing that happened is you didn't do it. It's that simple. It takes no brains. It takes no energy. It takes no effort. You don't have to have a degree to do this. You take the script and then put the script on a clipboard. Might have to invest in a clipboard. Okay, cost you $1. Okay, and I'll pay for copying the paper. All right, give everybody a copy, and then just read it. Just read it. Don't do anything else. I'm not even asking you to memorize it or learn it or internalize it. Just read it. That's all you have to do. And do that for 1 week. Just try it. I wrote down here number 3. Prospect. But prospect not just for contacts. I want you to listen for opportunities. Prospect listening for opportunities. Listen for opportunities. Now, what am I talking about? When I say listen for opportunities, the script goes, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I was curious, when do you plan on moving? And the client says, never. Immediately. Knee-jerk reaction. That's what they say. Okay, you go into the rest of the script. But if the client says to you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I was curious, when do you folks plan on moving? And they go, never. Do you hear the difference? Some did, some didn't. Interesting. Okay, the difference was the pause. The difference was the pause. But I'm listening to the client, waiting to hear the response. The pause, to me, means a couple things. It could mean that when I'm talking to them over the phone, the cat ran by, and they saw the cat run by, and they just paused when they're thinking about the cat. It's possible, right? Could also mean, whoa, I was just talking to my husband last night about this. How did they know that? But you asked the question. So, kind of sounds like you might have been thinking about it based on your pause. And they could give you an answer that says, yes, I was. I was curious how you knew that. Or, no, I wasn't. The cat went by, or I was holding the baby, or whatever. Okay? But you have to listen for the opportunity. I submit to you that we're prospecting, and some of you are doing the activity, but you're not listening for the opportunity. Number 4, I wrote down here, stay on the scripts. Stay on the scripts. Learn what to say and how to say it. Stay on the scripts. Here's what I wrote down that. Finally, pick a script and learn it. Next to begging you to preview properties, the second thing I beg you a lot to do is to learn what to say and how to say it. Okay? That's number 2. Number 1 is preview property. Number 2 is I'm really good at begging. I am a great beggar. World class. So stay on the scripts. Finally pick one and learn it. And work on it every single day for 2 weeks. Now think about this. And I don't care what script or what you think you need to work on. I'm totally okay with what you choose. But work on that script for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, solid, every day, 30, 40 minutes a day for 2 weeks, internalizing and learning the script. So here's what happens. At the end of 2 weeks, you should have a script fairly internalized. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And we have how many weeks left this year? 26. 26 weeks divided by 2 is how much? 13. So that means you could learn 13 different scripts between now and the end of the year. Finally, once and for all, there it is. Learn the 13 scripts so that by Christmas time, you would have some of this under your belt and you would hopefully start to be making some money, more money. Okay? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Number 5. I wrote down here, have market knowledge. Have market knowledge. Read about Real Estate Weekly. I wrote down here, study your profession. Here's a shame on you. You are in my opinion, one of the greatest professions and most lucrative and easiest to get into providing the greatest return for the lowest amount of investment, in terms of capital investment, that I can think of in the marketplace. You don't have to be Bill Gates. You don't have to be Steve Jobs. You don't have to know how to program stuff. You don't need $50,000 to buy inventory and to lease a store and to put inventory in a store. You don't have to then think about the advertising and stuff like that. And then somebody's got to man the store 24 hours a day or 12 hours a day, or whatever you do in a retail store. Can't even imagine that. Stuck in a retail store, like, oh my gosh. I can't even imagine that. That would be like, that would be prison for me. Okay? Couldn't even imagine that. To have the opportunity to go out and be in the sunshine, meet with people all the time. If I want to increase my business, I need to talk to more people. I don't have to worry about people coming to see me. I get to go see them. This is an amazing business. An amazing, amazing business. And yet, as a group, we don't spend very much time honing our skills in our business. Reading articles, reading and getting information, learning about the business. Forget about the scripts and dialogues and the statistics. Just reading the business section, the real estate section of the business section on a daily or weekly basis. What's going on in the economy? Case-Shiller. What is Case-Shiller? Who are those guys? Mr. Case and Mr. Shiller. I don't know. Sounds like split pea. I don't know. I don't know. Well, of course I do know. Okay? The question is, do you know?
No.
Okay? And if you don't know, then you should know. Because that's information you need to know. Now, do you need to know it at a level to be able to communicate it to every person? No, probably not. But you need some information about some of the things. It doesn't take much. If you dedicated an hour a day, an hour a week even, an hour a week to your craft, to your skill, that makes you potentially tens of thousands of dollars a year, could be hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And we have some agents, you know them, some of them you work with, that make millions of dollars a year. Hello? I'll bet you the ones that make $1 million a year spend more time reading and learning their business than ones that don't. What do you think? Safe bet? Yeah, me too. Okay, I wrote down here number 6. Follow up, circle follow up, put a star next to it, follow up. And then I wrote down a question. How many deals have you lost in the last 6 months from under following up? Don't tell me, just write it down. 1 deal, 2 deals, 3 deals, 6 deals, 8 deals. How many deals have you lost from not following up enough in the last 6 months? Multiply that number times $10,000, because on average we earn about $10,000 gross per transaction. Okay? Anybody nauseous yet? Mm-hmm. Scary, right? Mm-hmm. Now, next to that, I want you to write down the number of deals in the last 6 months you lost from over following up. Multiply that times $10,000. Which one's bigger? So do we need to follow up or not? Yes. Hello? Follow up? Yes. Okay, I wrote down number 7. Get better at pre-qualifying. Get better at pre-qualifying. Get better at pre-qualifying. But there's 2 types of pre-qualifying. There's financial pre-qualifying. That's the money side of the equation. Can they financially do the transaction? Is the money in the bank? Do they have the monthly payments? Can they verify the monthly payments? Those are all important, and most of us know it. If we don't know how to do it, we at least understand the concept of doing it. Right? Say yes. Yes. There's a second qualifier, and that's the qualifier of the emotion. Emotionally qualified. Just because they can do a deal, just because they can financially do a deal, doesn't mean they're going to do the deal. And you've got to learn how to be able to ask enough questions to determine where they can and they can't. Okay? I wrote down here, my experience is that some people don't work hard because hidden because in the hidden-most part of their mind, they imagine they will succeed without making much of an effort. I'd like to say that again. So we're all guilty of that at some level and some point. My experience, and this is personal experience with this, I have suffered from this at some point in my career, okay? That some people don't work hard because in the hidden-most part of their mind, they imagine they will succeed without making much of an effort. I'm honest enough to tell you that in my career at some point, I believe that. Somewhere, I felt like as long as I had my license, as long as I showed up, kinda, that somebody would buy $1 million or $2 million house for me, and that would do it, and I would be rocking and rolling. Okay? Well, then I realized that, okay, let's assume they did. Somebody bought $1 million or $2 million or $3 million or $4 million house from me. So what? And I got that check. I got it. And I got that $40,000 or $50,000 or $60,000 check. I got it once. So what? How would that change my life going forward if I couldn't duplicate it? I needed to find something that was predictable and duplicatable. Maybe I could do one big deal. Probably could. Maybe I could do a couple of big deals. Whoa, man, I had a $2 million sale. Woohoo! But that's it. When the money's gone, then what? Do you guys get this? See, I was one of those people. Then I wrote down here, most people believe they'll wake up someday and find themselves rich. That's why the lottery is there. Most people really. Why do I believe that? Because most people really don't plan for their future. We really don't. So if you don't plan for your future and you don't plan for when you're going to be 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 years old, then it's one of three things, I guess. A, you don't think you're going to live to 70 years old. And that's a very big mistake in today's world. Okay? Because most people live much longer. Okay? So, and I have relatives that are the poster children for not buying a house and running out of money in their 70s. And they just turned 100 years old. I have one relative like that. She just turned 100 years old. She ran out of money at about 75. Never owned a house. That was really the killer. She never owned a house free and clear. So at that point, she was a renter. And well, whatever money you have starts to diminish. Make sense? But as long as you own a house, and it's a decent home in a decent neighborhood in decent condition, and you keep it that way, it's always rising generally with the market. You don't pull money out of it. There's reverse mortgages. But anyway, this is a whole other conversation. But do you get what I'm saying here? Okay? So most people believe they'll wake up someday and find themselves rich. So A, you don't think you're going to live long enough. B, you think you're going to win a lottery or a relative's going to die and leave you money. And by the way, the greatest shift of personal wealth in the history of the world is now. The baby boomers' parents are passing away. My parents passed away. Okay? My wife's mother passed away. So we're baby boomers. We were born as baby boomers. Our parents pass away. They leave money to, if they have money, they leave it because that's the generation that, the greatest generation, that book, that they saved money. Why? Because they came out of the Depression, they came out of World War II, etc., etc., so they saved money. Okay? Their kids didn't. Okay? So, but what happens is, let's say you get 100 grand or 200 grand. And then let's say there's $500,000 and you're 3 kids. And you don't pay taxes on it because it's under the thresholds. But you divide $500,000 by 3 children. That's $140,000 a kid, right? Okay, so I don't know about you, but what can you do with $140,000? How's that going to change your life? How's it really going to change your life? You're 50 years old. You still have 40 more years to live. How's that $140,000 going to change your... Do you guys get what I'm saying? Hey, that's what you're waiting for. That's my inheritance. Well, that's your inheritance. Do you get what I'm saying? Your time is now, the second half of this year, to focus, be consistent, and be committed. Most people believe they'll wake up someday and they'll find themselves rich. Thomas Edison says that people have it right, because eventually those people do wake up and they have nothing. I don't want that to be you. It cannot be you. I keep pounding on you, beating on your head, reminding you. We have an opportunity. Our real estate license is like the golden ticket from the Willy Wonka golden ticket. It is absolutely the most amazing thing that we have. For some effort, on a consistent basis over time, you can make a phenomenal living, a spectacular living. More money than most people could earn. But you have to take what? Action. And you have to do that every day, every week, every month. And you have to do that for the rest of your lives. That's all. Nothing less and nothing more. It's not that hard. I wrote down here, if only I had done what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it. Another great if only. If only I had done what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it. So, right now, today, for a lot of us, starts the second half of 2015. You can do something pretty spectacular with it. You can preview some properties, you can do some door knocking, you can learn some scripts, you can focus on what needs to be done, and have a great second half. Or not. The choice really is yours. With me, we can go to the moon. Without me, maybe not. With me, we can get excited. We can do things that seem to be impossible. We have agents in our company. We have groups in our organization that are on track to earn, never before done by them before, $1 million this year. $1 million. They're this close. They're on track for it happening. We have agents that are earning $200,000, $400,000, $500,000. If you've never earned $50,000, follow our lead. If you want to earn $100,000, do some of what I'm asking you to do some of the time. If you want to earn $200,000, do some more of what I'm asking you to do some of the time. See, what we do is we make these lofty goals. I'll end it here. Think about this. If your goal is to earn $200,000 this year, and there's not one person in here that wouldn't like to earn at least $200,000 this next year, okay? Some of you want to earn 2 and 3 times. I get it. But at least $200,000. That means to earn $200,000, you have to earn $16,660 per month. Hear what I said? $16,660 per month. If an employer was going to pay you $16,600 per month, and they were going to do that for 12 months, that would give you $200,000. What do you think that employer would expect in terms of activities from you to pay you the $200,000? Would they expect you to work hard, a little hard, medium hard, some hard, not show up? What would they expect? Hard, right? If I was paying you $200,000 a year, you wouldn't go home. No, think about it. Think about it. You have to write a check for $16,000 a month to an employee. Get in that moment. You have to write that check to a person for $16,000. What would you expect of them? And how many months would you expect nothing back from them? 1 month? 2 months? 3 months? 2 months is $32,000. 4 months, $64,000. 4 months of no production, if your goal is $200,000, that means that your employer gave you $64,000 plus dollars. Do you guys get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
And yet, we don't do what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it. We're the employer. Our goal is $200,000. Are we doing $16,000 worth of work every month? Don't answer.
And that's really only 2 deals a month.
2 deals a month. Maybe less, depending on where they are. Yeah. But certainly 2 deals a month, right? 2 deals a month. That's all we're talking about. Be focused, be committed, be consistent, and watch what happens. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thank you. Is that a woo?
You're on whoa.
You think it's a wow, but it was really a woo.